I want a table.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
I want a table.
I'm sure some people will also live there. Some people will live, and then we can just grab.
Well, maybe there's pillows in the course, but I think there's still something else. I know, I'll still be catching my breath, babe.
Practice it. Yeah.
Hey Chelsea, do you think we would have time for a run?
Maybe. When you, what time is it? If we start like now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was gonna check in and see, like, are y'all ready?
Yes, we need to set up something, like, I think we could run.
Yeah.
Lobby fun times, not so much. I thought Chrisanne was gonna be here around now, but that's not the case. So if we're cool with like belaying that for a bit and doing a run, I'm fine with that.
These are the programs.
Yep, and then we've got masks and stuff like that too. Okay. But yeah, I can head up there and.
Yeah. Well, it'll be like a marching run, but also just make sure we're all on the same page with cues as well.
Totally.
So they can see what we're doing as
I
well.
appreciate that, yeah, that was great. Yeah, great, so do you want to put us into pre-show?
Yeah. Sound.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. That's fine. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Then I changed it.
Check.
I'm starting another project. My colleagues from graduate school.
Oh, wow.
20 years.
That's your
Another practice.
Last year was my 30th. Like for you.
Then I just got asked to do poetry.
No, it's
It's not supporting. Oh, the first one is going to be left to University of Sullivan. So that's started. Are you sure you want me to be the one who's just like about that?
Yeah.
Anyways, but I was thinking about it.
Chelsea, should I close the door after them? Should I close the door after they put them?
I love that. That's really love that. I mean, the reason I include all those poems, those are the ones that were first out of
Edie will be right back,
If they
and
didn't
we'll
come
just.
to me. So that's why I include that with everything.
What I will have to do, because like, we out of here, I will probably check in with you all, and we have them down here, and then give you a geo to come in, everybody, so, if that sounds
I think sometimes
And
it's
then
make it
we'll
too
have
easy to get things, but I think sometimes you need to just fill it out and say, oh, that's
Sounds
what. I worry about.
She was just waving at you.
She
She was like, see?
It's so cute.
Interesting. That's true. And it can be looking at.
But you have to see, told me that she's like Scandinavian.
Yeah, that's hard for her. That's why
Hello.
she loves
How you doing?
Once she found out that she has a higher percentage. It's her DNA.
Yeah, good.
23.
They do Thailand.
No.
It's kind of fun.
They went to their dance school. They used to have step dance.
Yeah,
Hi, how are you? Good, happy to see you.
Okay.
There you are. I was like, where's Chelsea?
So,
Beautiful human.
yeah, I was like, modern
Okay,
dance
so,
teacher. Yes. Miriam on
have
the
that,
She
and
does this thing where she does
programs are lobbies.
Yeah, what's on?
What we're missing is like a table. I don't know if
Just
it's downstairs in the conference room somewhere.
And I started doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's good.
The dogs, they have the no.
Do you have keys to the shed?
No, I
No,
don't.
but he might.
Oh, I could feel why that would be so good. If you had the flexibility. Oh my gosh, I think I just heard
How are you?
Last Sunday, my back was so nice. That's great for timing.
Oh, please, yeah. That was amazing.
Hey Chelsea, can we start past the intro? So like once everyone's in their places, is that possible?
Yeah, I think so.
For timing's sake.
So yeah, so we'll just cut out we'll be stating about
There's like things in my head.
When Edie goes this way, and we do the run.
Or the ancestors. You guys are struggling with what it means.
Like your first dance, exactly.
like your first dance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
right.
we're all in our places, all
With an eye, right?
Yeah, I can't live without nationals.
I kind of know, but yeah, I think I know that.
Okay. Oh, indifference.
That's it. Yes.
Yes. Starting from that.
Then you.
Okay, so that's good. That's helpful. I like that one.
The ancestors come back. But it's almost like the blankets are allergic to you guys. You try to take it off, and it's getting bigger.
Okay.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 3.
Quite late. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let that do its thing.
Okay, so we're good, right?
Yeah, we'll be good. Thank you.
What happens if it dies?
What does?
Anything.
Then we run back up, but you know, it's got the.
Oh, you're gonna stay here?
Yeah, I'll be here with my kid. That's my personal laptop.
Say hello.
Okay, I'll give you a shot for you.
Sophia. Sophia is
I
also.
mean, you're just gonna leave it on anyway, right?
I'm just gonna leave the one.
Yeah.
I don't care. You don't have to like me. You just have to love me. Just enough to finally see me as worth something. Not just what your eye sees, not just how your country and your world define me. As nothing. Yes, nothing. Though it's hard to trust me, take me seriously. Think of me as something worth your while, worth wanting. Start now. Start here. Start, please. Listen to my heart scream. If you don't yet love me, just pretend for now. Seek, and you'll find it's easier to do. Just give it time. You'll come to see the truth. Yes, see that I'm no thing. No, I am human. Face me. Don't wait. Just assume hate is a poisonous fruit. Tasted it once, we were hooked. Daily, we all get used to taking the way out, not through. But the race is just bait. It's no use making up games we all lose. Change seems so easy to choose. Strange thing, your parents refused. Maybe, and this is the truth, they did the least they could do. Maybe that's all you'll do too. Nothing. This isn't a bug. No, this is a feature. They keep pulling rugs from under our feet, and we keep pulling up the bootstraps they speak of, but it's not enough. We can't even reach up to stand in the sun until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the lives the world feeds us. How many of us are right where they keep us? Red line, red rum, red records. Go read them. The past isn't done. No, history repeats and repeats and keeps on repeating. Repeating reruns of things we've all seen. The beatings, the blood, black lungs cannot breathe underneath your laws that give you good reason to think of us all as animals, rejects, need to be locked up of our feet, featured as flawed, god-awful creatures. But if there's a God, or if there at least is a heaven above, why do you still feed us your version of what is the truth and the meaning of life when I'm living the lies you believe, the lies that some people repeat and repeat? The lies that some people repeat and repeat, they lie, but you're silent, complicit, agreeing with lies history wants us all to believe. So inside me, I keep repeating, but how long can I keep my feelings from seething? How long can I keep on repeating? This isn't a bug, no, this is a feature. We keep pulling rugs under our feet, and we keep pulling up the bootstraps you speak of, but it's not enough when we can't even reach up to live and to love until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the mindsets you feed us, till millions of us are right where you keep us. Red line, red rum, red records. Go read them. It's over for some. Now on to new things, but not over for us. Not when we're still sick from your hold on this country that runs like a business based on profits from past violence and victims of so-called reforms. Since all the same systems keep on keeping on, it's all the same difference. So all of us want the best for all children, and not just for some, like how it has been here. We beg and borrow for what some get gifted just because they're born with good hair and fair skin. We go off to war, come back to be licked for wearing uniforms that prove patriotism can kill you if you're the low Mason-Dixon. The line that was drawn to show what we mean when we say this new country was founded by Christians who claimed a good God, but not their black children, as living proof of the fire, the fever that burned in the loins of patriots, creatures of freedom for all, except for the people who built this young country and death still equal. This isn't a bug. No, this is a feature. We still pull the rug from under our feet, and we keep pulling up the bootstraps you speak of, but it's not enough when we can't even reach up to live, laugh, and love until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the lies we believe till we've had enough of you watching us being red line, red rum, red records. Go read them yourself. I'm not sure just what game you're playing, but you're keeping the score. Seems like you're on your way to taking everything, maybe more. Is it fair you've been at the table, making rules you know? Do you care when I ask for grace and mercy? You tell me stories. How come you're always just saying? Now it's my turn. I'm just saying. Of a good solution, and I know where to start. Just admit that the truth will do us good, though it's getting harder to begin from two into the songs of hope in the dark. But at least maybe we'll do something to open your heart, please. How come you always just say now it's my turn, I'm just saying. Is this nation as Christian as you have decided? Look this way, please, and see what I see through these eyes. You keep saying you've got to be cruel to be kind. I'm just saying you can't be a real Jesus Christ. You make me a good excuses, separate but equal. Are you scared that the truth will do us real good and big? What I need is for you to do something that changes your heart. What I say is do something good for once. Would you just let love be? The word you always keep saying. Show me something, just say. How come you're always just saying? just hampered, not crippled, simply stumbling, forced to make artificial choices like whether to fall or falter, like whether to have a voice, a half full or half empty mind, heart, or memories. As if saying makes it so, as if anyone can know anything or really hold the uncertain, the unknown, as if it is possible for reality to so often be the noose, the rope by which we can only hope to hang our heads. All you see here is what you've been learning is only worthy of doubt, of fear. These bodies, unburdened, unchained from present and past prevention of their potential, as they rise, revel in their irreverent glory, uncensored, not as your world or your God intended. No, these bodies burning, prowling with purpose, seeking, no, searching for more than solace, for someone, something to first devour, then to inspire. Breathe in, breathe out, of lips pursed so tightly. Each breath comes sounding so shrill, it might be a scream of drowning, words pleading, pining, and reaching out for some land, some island, where faith and doubt can find peace through violence. On fallow ground here, our legs grow tired. These shallow waters, these depths, deprive us of room to dive in deeper. Deep down, where we find a kind of freedom worth fighting for, worth writhing in, worth striving toward, worth drowning in. The music may stop. The motion does not. As if neither one reacts or responds to silence, to songs unsung, though we all know words we were taught before we were born, before we were torn from womb-wedded warmth, before we could form and fashion words from breaths taken.
That would be your blackout if everything was working right.
I was like, that seems a few
That's not, yep, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's great, though.
I'm doing it.
So you can really hear us breathing hard.
Absolutely. You represent generations.
Maybe that's why it's not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, safe. Well, I mean, this is my last. I should get out of here.
Thank you.
Probably is this yours folder?
Oh, yeah, sorry, thank you. We'll take it.
Yep, no, you can't.
Ooh, hot.
All right.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna have an extra performer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Come on up.
Yeah. If she can't, just let her.
Okay.
Yeah. Then step ahead.
I was like wondering, is she about to like walk in with her marches, but she was like running back and forth.
The pillows
She
were
was
more
like
exciting.
considered. She's like, oh, that seems kind of nice.
All right. Pedro, I'm coming in right behind you, just so you know.
We should have.
You don't have to hold it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't like drop on his head.
I was gonna say we actually entered.
We can go stay in there. Everybody goes
You know
there.
what was stressing?
Hey, guys.
Oh, I get a blanket, right? Why? Wrong place, wrong place. Please tell you it. I mean, just tuck it back. Oh, it's so exciting.
No one needs to. Y'all are stuff.
Hey, guys, now we go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly what
I always make that go with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was like here, and I like was able to turn a little bit, and y'all were. Where? With your company? Where? For the
Whole thing, whole ass thing. All right, whole ass thing. No. Here's how. Yeah, things are evolving. But I'm not evolving. Yeah, they're evolving. Much is evolving.
I understand that.
So much is evolving. No problem. It's like, it's so. My mom and her friend, yes. We have invited, I call them her family because I've not seen them in 10 years and I don't think I ever will again, to stay with her for my cousin's spring break, which is during my spring break. And they are very like fundamentalist, religious. Again, I have not seen them. Hi.
I came earlier, I was ready to
I see
help.
that. Thank you. I know we are set. Kind of. Trying to enjoy us.
Let me know if you need another thing. What do you need?
Well, I want to get, because sometimes, even if no one's in this hallway, of course, sometimes it goes off. So I was gonna try to, I meant to try to cover this, and I don't know if I have anything, but I think there's some cardstock downstairs, and I was gonna put a couple sheets of that on this.
Hard stuff, do you want something else, like a shirt or like a jacket or something, or?
I don't know how to attach that.
I don't know how to touch anything. See a thing. Let me put.
Oh my God, I don't want to sit.
I feel like that will be less noticeable.
I think there. It's a mask on it.
I mean, a really big giant mask.
Oh, the house.
You can stand. You can stand. Back away, back away.
No, you gotta take for a shot. Huh? We're gonna cut it just because that still comes on sometimes. And just, I mean, like, if I can't control my main lights, at least I want to be able to control the bleed from the door.
You know what? We take what we can get.
Right.
Do you need help? I can do some things.
Up here.
Oh, that's what happens with hard stuff. That's amazing. I took it to make props last year. Yeah. And then didn't need all of it. And now I'm using it to puzzle pieces. Well, I do jigsaw puzzles a lot. Yeah. I like to have different things that I can like break a certain section into my bedroom game puzzle and then move it. So it's like a rotating situation.
Okay.
With her stuff.
Sophia.
Exactly.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. I think just that. And then I'm gonna turn on the whiteboard again and.
Is she being grumpy?
Well, that one is.
I couldn't tell if that was intentional or not.
It looks like the poster, so at least like that.
I mean,
Shoot me in the face, I'm all.
what?
Did shoot me in the face?
No,
Every time.
I can't. Maybe after this, sure, still want that. I was reading a story about. Actually, I should not say that. So how are you? Digressing, what was the word?
Let's start with the keys.
Yeah. Evolving. Yeah. So not going to see my mom. Right. So I'll be here. It's good. I like being here.
And when I use this, time for my water.
I'm realizing I only have one of the left.
Why is not working?
I don't know, capstone before we're in tech. Okay. There you go. Listen, we finished a draft today. There's a 2-minute gap in there, but it's a draft. We've been kind of like, well, okay, let's have 2 minutes of that. I mean, bold choices. There is a bold choice in anything of resting on stage in between 2 intense pieces that I need a rest for. So that's what's going to happen. You're tickled. But a draft is a thing, and I'm grateful for it. Kaylin is really cool, and she mixes the music together. So I have set music. I have her, I have myself. We're chilling, we're vibing. I'm not sure what's happening with the cohort as a whole, but I'm just doing my thing. Yeah. Yeah.
How long is it?
10. Exactly 10 minutes. And that's kind of all I can think about right now. You know, when you're like in a thing, that's the only thing that is
It's okay, Papa.
That's my only thing. And the mac and cheese is in my fridge.
It's okay, Papa. I can see.
Oh, Cameron will be here at some point.
Right?
No, over the next couple weeks.
I was like, yay.
No, they're somewhere in Texas right now. They've been getting stuck because of weather.
Oh, that's why there's like this not.
I don't think it's very intentional. No. It was supposed to be a one day in Texas kind of thing. Well, they just drive.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
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 They called me last week and they said,
Chelsea, how's that
I'm in a
look?
library. And I said, okay. And they said,
Should I bring the rest of the boxes back to
Wait,
Look at that.
and I said, okay. So this is the queen.
Oh, yeah.
Place,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
tar campaign. And we
Should I bring the box back to where it was?
we house that has walls that are built stable, and we go do that for a bit. What are you doing? But they're doing that. They're staying with their mom's high school best friend. It works. It works. But they will be here and are you feeling about upcoming things? What are you doing for break? Are you having a break, Joya? We're gonna open a break. Okay.
Thank you so much.
He's going again. It's time. 5, 7, 8.
Hold it.
I score. I win the game. I win the game.
What's the ball for you?
Everything?
Everything? Oh, yeah.
She's gonna get come. She's cool. She's cool.
Did you?
She's cool. She's cool.
Okay. Okay. Right. So here we are. Better get it. Get it here. Park it. Exit. Early. I wouldn't put it past you entirely. I would not. I absolutely would not. Appreciate it. That's the thing I want to do. Cool. Should I? Not that you don't have fun, but 32. Yes. I've discovered that I had a really good time crashing. Yeah. You guys can go sit. You guys can sit here. I know. Maybe
would ask questions of me. No, I have no priority. Are you okay, Shelly?
Yep, I'm good.
Have you ever been You're like, nothing in this world is important enough for me to get up that bed. That's really cool. Originally, sound started from up there because the sound was not good up there. I said, wow, that's so sad. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, this. My friend came out and get Other one is one friend supporting. So they're both
You don't have to like me. You just have to love me. Just enough to finally see me as worth something. Not just what your eye sees, not just how your country and your world define me. As nothing. Yes, nothing. Though it's hard to trust me, take me seriously. Think of me as something worth your while, worth wanting. Start now. Start here. Start, please. Listen to my heart scream. If you don't yet love me, just pretend for now. Seek and you'll find it's easier to do. Just give it time. You'll come to see the truth. Yes, see that I'm no thing. No, I am human. Face me. Don't wait. Just assume hate is a poisonous fruit. Tasted it once, we were hooked. Daily, we all get used to taking the way out, not through. But race is just bait. It's no use making up games we all lose. Change seems so easy to choose. Strange thing, your parents refused. Maybe, and this is the truth, they did the least they could do. Maybe that's all you'll do too. Nothing. This isn't a bug, no, this is a feature. They keep pulling rugs from under our feet and we keep pulling up the bootstraps they speak of, but it's not enough. We can't even reach up to stand in the sun until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the lies the world feeds us. How many of us are right where they keep us? Red-lined, red-rummed, red records? Go read them. The past isn't done. No, history repeats and keeps on repeating reruns. Things we've all seen, like the beatings and blood. Black lungs cannot breathe under knees and laws that give you a good reason to think of us all as animals, rejects who need to be locked off our feet, then featured as flawed, god-awful creatures. But if there's a God, or if there at least is a heaven above, why do you still feed us your version of what is the truth and the meaning of life when I'm living the lies you believe? The lies that some people repeat and repeat. The lie they keep repeating. The lie they keep repeating. The lie they keep repeating. The lies that some people repeat and repeat. They lie, but you're silent, complicit, agreeing with lies history wants us all to believe. So inside me, I keep repeating. But how long can I keep my feelings from seething? How long can I keep on repeating that this isn't a bug? No, this is a feature. You keep pulling rugs from under our feet and we keep pulling up the bootstraps you speak of, but it's not enough when we can't even reach up to live and to love until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the mindsets you feed us. But how many of us are right where you keep us? Red-lined, red-rummed, red records. Go read them. It's over for some. Now on to new things, but not over for us. Not when we're still sick from your hold on this country that runs like a business based on profits from past violence and victims of so-called reforms. Since all the same systems keep on keeping on, it's all the same difference. To all of us want the best for all children and not just for some, like how it has been here. We beg and borrow for what some get gifted just because they're born with good hair and fair skin. We go off to war and come back to be lynched for wearing uniforms that prove patriotism can kill you if you're the low Mason-Dixon. The line that was drawn to show what we mean when we say this new country was founded by Christians who claim a good God but not their own black children. Living proof of the fire, the fever that burned in the loins of patriots, preachers of freedom for all, except for the people who built this young country then died still unequal. This isn't a bug, no, this is a feature. You still pull the rug from under our feet and we keep pulling up the bootstraps you speak of, but it's not enough when we can't even reach up to live, laugh, and love until we start leaving the projects, the slums, the lies we believe, till we've had enough of you watching us being red-lined, red-rummed, red records. Go read them yourself. it fair? You've been at the table, making rules you ignore. Do you care when I ask for grace and mercy? You tell me stories. How come you're always just saying? Now it's my turn. I'm just saying. I can think of a good solution, and I know where to start. Just admit that the truth will do us good, although it's getting harder to begin humming to the tune of songs of hope in the dark. But at least maybe you will do something to open your heart. How come you're always just saying? Now it's my turn. I'm just saying. Is this nation as Christian as you have decided? Look this way, please, and see what I see through these eyes. You keep saying you've got to be cruel to be kind. Well, I'm just saying you can't be a cruel Jesus Christ. You keep making up good excuses like separate but equal. Are you scared that the truth will do us little good but great harm? What I need is for you to do something that changes your heart. What I say is do some good for once. If you just let love be. The word you always keep saying. And show me some. I'm just saying. How come you're always just saying? Now it's my turn. I'm just saying. just hampered, not crippled, simply stumbling, forced to make artificial choices like whether to fall or falter, like whether to have a voice, a half full or half empty mind, heart, or memories. As if saying makes it so, as if anyone can know anything or really hold the uncertain, the unknown. As if it is possible for reality to so often be the noose, the rope, by which we can only hope to hang our heads. All you see here is what you've been learning is only worthy of doubt, of fear. These bodies unburdened, unchained from present and past prevention of their potential, as they rise, revel in their irreverent glory, uncensored, not as your world or your God intended. No, these bodies burning, prowling with purpose, seeking, no, searching for more than solace, for someone, something to first devour, then to inspire. Breathe in, breathe out of lips pursed so tightly. Each breath comes sounding so shrill, it might be a scream of drowning. Words pleading, pining, and reaching out for some land, some island, where faith and doubt can find peace through violence. On fallow ground here, our legs grow tired. These shallow waters, these depths deprive us of room to dive in deeper, deep down where we find a kind of freedom worth fighting for, worth writhing in, worth striving toward, worth drowning in. The music may stop. The motion does not, as if neither one reacts or responds to silence, to songs unsung, though we all know words we were taught before we were born, before we were torn from womb-wedded warmth, before we could form and fashion words from breaths taken.
Now, I think we're transitioning to Q&A. Yeah. So, I think I need to get my towel.
Yeah.
Get my towel quickly. I'll be right back.
I got so close to you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to pull it in.
We're just gonna stand, right? Just stand. Yeah.
So, my name is Patricia Beaman, and I'm a university professor here in the Wesleyan Dance Department. Thank you so much for coming tonight to this very special event that Iddi has put together, and it's obviously a very collaborative and very meaningful effort. So, I'm here to facilitate questions and answers. So, does anybody have a question? Just please stand and I think it's this room, we don't need a microphone.
Don't everybody speak at once.
Just remember, if one person has a question, somebody else has the same question. Hi, sweetheart, do you have a question?
Thank
We
you.
got you some seats if you
Thank you.
like. We'll be back with one more.
So sorry.
Yeah, it's better than those, yeah. We're not at risk.
Oh, yes, hi. Can you just sort of come in the center just so
Yeah,
we feel-
sure. I was wondering about, like, did you know for this piece from the beginning you would have a live band on stage? And, like, what's the inspiration for that? And really, like, what did it mean for you to have them there performing with you?
Well, I've always worked with live music coming from my Ghanaian dance background. It's always important, whenever possible, to have live action happening in terms of the dances, in terms of the music. And so for me, it was something that I planned, I had in mind right at the beginning, because I wanted that organic kind of feeling. I think live music produces something that can't quite be replicated when it is recorded. And so that was very important for me. And I was very lucky to have amazing, musicians who not only amazing, also very generous, with their talent and with their, spirits, and it was just an important, collaboration for me that I will carry throughout my life. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
I just wanted to add one thing to that. It's just that all of the music is originally composed for this piece, and a lot of the music is based on poems that Kwamena Blankson created, and from our process of working together. So I feel like that's important.
Absolutely.
And I'll just piggyback on what she piggybacked on. And I met Iddi at Conn College when he did a semester over there, last semester, right? Teaching West Africa. And I was playing for his class. And at the end of the semester, toward the end of the semester, he started talking to me about this vision that he had. And I'm kind of like, if anybody would have said to me, you're going to be playing for dance class, if they said this like 20 years ago, I would have like looked at them like they had 10 heads. But I've been doing it now for close to 7 years. And I love it. It's a different aspect because I play like Motown music, I play R&B, but this is like the collaboration between movement and music. It's just another level that just touches me like nothing else. So I was just very happy when he asked me to join him. And the real cool thing was that, what we gonna do? Well, we don't know. And you know, that's really the cool part of it, because that's the journey that we set out on, and the journey is always like so cool. And so that's pretty much my flow.
I know I'm the Q&A moderator, but may I slip in a question? Because I'm sure it's
Absolutely.
So I thought the mix of the live music and then the recorded was very powerful, and using the patriotic songs, Star Spangled Banner, Glory Hallelujah, Glory Hallelujah, all of those. It brought, and using it in the minor key as a return, brought such irony, a cruel irony to the score. And I just want to say that I felt that was very effective. And I'm interested in how you came about, was that just a very organic impulse of yours? I can understand, but.
The story of my life.
Yeah.
Coming to the United States, one of the first schools I went to, my favorite class was chapel, and we'd sing all these songs, and I was, 5, 6, 7 years old. When we moved to Alabama from Minneapolis, all those songs came into different context for me. So when he invited me to this project, which I haven't enjoyed the anti-racism journey, because I sort of had to survive Alabama without thinking about anti-racism in high school. But it was time for me, now that I have biracial daughters. It just seemed like where I turned, this was something that had to be wrestled with, and Iddi forced me to wrestle with it. If I wanted to be creative and enjoy the collaboration, I had to dig in. So people don't understand that this process was not just get together and have fun. Like, we'd start with words, which everything for me is words and music. And so we'd start with, what's the word for today? We'd throw things out and wrestle with what it meant to each of us. And then I'd go home and I would just hear the echoes of songs from my childhood. And I grew up learning all those songs. I know the words to every verse of Battle Hymn of the Republic. How many African kids know that, right? But when I put it in perspective, I needed to see what this country is and what it could be, and I love it for all of them.
And I just want to add that humbly, the song I'm Just Saying is a song that I wrote 10 years ago, musically. And I entitled it I'm Just Saying because that's like a colloquialism that everybody says. And it never was really completed. And then when this project happened, I shared it with Kwamena, and he came up with these amazing lyrics. And then he came up with a bridge, and it was like, whoa. That type of process is just nothing like it.
Can I just jump in though, before they start keeping praise on me? I have to say that anything good that came out of me, I always felt like it was inspired by. 3 hours every Saturday morning for 4 months. Everything I saw come out of these guys, the sweat, the tears, just the energy is what I could take home with me, and it came out reflecting what I had seen.
Please.
I just have a quick comment that kind of dovetails with the discussion of the band. I kind of feel like part of what you guys are doing is deconstructing the notion of a band in a way that you're all the band. There isn't a separation from the beginning of the show. We see everybody come out one at a time. But I think by the end, I'm left with this feeling of the unity of all the different sensibilities. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Iddi. Thanks, everyone. This is wonderful. So I think that my comment speaks to or adds on to what was just said. I was really struck by the use of the textile to bring everyone together initially, and then it was reused to make a connection, and then it was so expressive. So I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the process of bringing in the textile, how that changed. I found that, there's so many wonderful pieces, but that's, I guess, one question about it.
Good question.
Sure. So the whole dance was built from different phrases that we each, added to. The blanket, as we call it, I don't know why. That piece was one of my contributions, and that section was about perseverance. And I had recently lost my father, and I was always laying under the Christmas tree, and I couldn't move for like a while. But there was something like really great about just laying under that tree. It felt very supportive. And so then the blanket kind of took on lots of metaphors and meanings for each person, as a safe place, as a blanket, as a burdensome space that we have to hold in history. I don't know other people's interpretations, they can speak to those. But that's sort of how that piece began. And it was more of like a structured improv. It was the idea of like the breath, expanding and contracting and doing less you can't do. And sometimes just being and breathing is all you really need to do. So.
Yeah. And was something that felt really nice about that specific part of it is that up until the very end, we all had the question, like, what does this even mean, really? And we all had, like, as you were saying, our own interpretations to it. And by the end, we kind of just embraced the fact that we all had different meanings to it, knowing you guys would all also had different meanings to what it is. And, like, that entire section is meant to be all on our own time, on our own pace. But we're still doing the same things together, so we saw that kind of connection. But we definitely, like, throughout the whole piece, all always had different meanings for it, which is something that I actually found really powerful about it.
I remember one of the things that we talked about when, like, we were lying down with the fabric covered, we called that hope. Like, we go out into the world and all the tribulations and all of that, and then once you come back home, there's that kind of comfort, there's that kind of security, and then you prepare yourself to face, what is ahead again. So we always went out and then came back home so that we can get the energy to go back.
It's the blanket, it's such a strong metaphor in so many ways, and it means so many things in so many cultures too, so it's very effective. Yes, please.
It's interesting that the blanket, the hope as you're calling it, can be taken in so many different ways, because when I was seeing it, I was seeing the three of you coming out of your placentas, but then when you were getting back, then it was a little confusing to me. I don't know any children after they're born who can get back into their placenta. So I'm not trying to joke or anything, but I'm not saying I just now that you're explaining the hope, it doesn't give it a little more sense of it. You have something you can carry around, you put back on to like comfort yourself. Because at first I thought it was sort of a birthing metaphor. Because then you guys are all laying down and coming out. That's how I saw it.
There's no static interpretation here. Everything really evolved, because even for me, the things that would inspire me, the root of the inspiration would change. And by the end, I thought that the blankets were like a shroud that your ancestors had put on you, and it could be a burden sometimes, but it could also give you hope. And in the end, you have to give it back to the ancestors and lay it down and find your own place.
And I think along with that too, it's like our entire relationship with that is complicated.
Right.
And that's why it makes sense where, like, even as we explain it, like, I have the home, I also have the burden, like, all those things are all in that, and it's complicated.
And the whole concept, the whole red line concept goes back to the redlining of zoning and housing, and the whole concept of when you're given an opportunity, but at the same time, opportunities are negated. You follow? It's like they created this whole thing based on those colors: green, red, green, blue, yellow, and red. Red being the lowest form of conditions, impoverished, where the green was the highest. And so red line, when they started this whole zoning, it created opportunities, but it also negated opportunities. And we as Kwamena stated earlier, I'll just reiterate, we met for 3 hours every Saturday since, when did we start?
September.
From September last year. And a lot of times, before we even started dancing and putting together music, we would just dialogue on words, indifference, confusion, perseverance, wholeness. I'm looking for help. Because we had a bunch of words and then we would all contribute.
I think, maybe I want to go back a bit. I think the words just didn't appear out of nowhere. We had very important conversations where people shared their personal stories and experiences about what, the topic we're dealing with. And I remember we also watched a very important movie, I'll call it, The Deadly Voyage, right? About a group of young boys in Ghana who wanted to go to Europe. They wanted to go and seek a greener pastures in Europe, but they didn't have the means to, to buy a plane ticket or even get a visa, right? So they decided to hide in a ship to escape, right? So they got in the middle of the journey. The crew of the ship realized that there were people in the ship called the stowaways, they called them. And in Europe, it was sanctioned that any ship that would bring in stowaways, they would be they would pay a fine. They would pay a very expensive fine. And so when they saw them, they decided they were going to kill them. I think there were 9 of them. They killed 8 of them. Only 1 escaped. And then when they got to Europe, France, so he alerted, he shouted, and then the police were there. So they took him, and then he explained everything. And then he hid something in where they were hiding, right? A picture of his wife and daughter in a particular spot. So they wanted to find out. So how can we believe that that such a thing happened? So he said, okay, I'll take you there. And then you go and open this. You will see that picture. They went, and then they saw it. Finally, to cut a long story short, they tried the crew, and they sentenced them. They had their sentences and all of that. But it is a true story, very sad story. And we spent a lot of time talking about all the ramifications and all of that. And so that's where those words came from. I just wanted to.
Sure.
Please.
How did you, through music and movement, deal with the constant issue of, with redlining, which is super prevalent still today, definitely, the issue of we've come a long way, but we're still nowhere near where we need to be. Like, it's the grappling of, yay, things have happened, but also but has enough happened? How did you grapple with that? And especially the part about hope, it's hard to hope when you realize that not enough has happened to make any sort of a big change, but still big changes have happened.
I'm happy to, but I want to hear somebody else talk.
I'll start it only in saying sort of the obvious, at least we were just talking about this earlier. I think having sort of a generational sampling was that was kind of useful because my experience is really different from Venlo's, who is our elder, and Kwamena, Iddi, and I are practically the same age. Well, you're a couple years younger. And then Shirley recently graduated, so she's our 20-something. Need it now, but at least they get to, and Issa somewhere between us. Oh, you're older than us. Yeah.
He's timeless.
So anyway, I do think the generationality really added something to the complexities of the discussion.
And I think also you and I were sort of the darker minded ones and looking for the negative, because things are good, but things are not great. And I think in my songwriting and in the poetry, trying to talk about how much farther we still have to go. And I admitted that I'm sort of masochistic in my songwriting, so I wanted there to be phrases where the dancers danced while they were exhausted. Because I look at certain communities that are exhausted. And the lights go down, but they're still moving. They still have to just keep struggling. They still have to keep persevering, even though it doesn't seem like it gets them anywhere. And I think that you guys brought that to life physically.
Yeah, I wanted to add, in the midst of all of the struggle and all of the perseverance, I think there are moments, that people find some kind of joy in the day-to-day activity lives, moments of happiness, moments of say, okay, this feels good, and then we go back to that struggle. That's basically life, right? There are moments of happiness, and then even if it is a constant struggle, there's moments where you feel like, okay, I want to celebrate something, be it the birthday of your daughter or something, something very small to celebrate. So we wanted to bring all the nuances. So it's not just about all the complaints and all the struggles and all of that. There are moments even within that struggle where people can celebrate.
Please, hi, Patricia.
Off of what you were saying at one point, Shirley, and I guess kind of also riffing on the moment of being like, y'all help me out, like what were the words? I had a question, or was wondering if anyone wanted to share about public-private, quote unquote, or just more like the subject of performance and drawing on like sacred practices, drawing on healing practices, and obviously just, like the practice together that y'all have shared a bit about that you've had. And as an artist, especially in the like context of like a violent institution, it's really confusing. And like to decide what to share. But yeah, just always what to share with an audience. And I was wondering if y'all would share anything about how you navigated that, like what actually became the performance tonight.
Well, I think I can start. For me, the way I saw it was, I don't think I had any particular kind of how do you call it, therapeutic or healing ritual or formula to it. What was important for me was the process of sharing our experiences, sharing our stories, and through that, just by sharing, I think there's some kind of healing, there's some kind of cathartic effect to it. Sharing and knowing that your audience are going to receive it in a way that is respectful and dignified, right? So that's why I would say we approached the issue of like your question. So we shared sometimes there were a couple of times I felt like people have to share a few here and there because they were very deep and personal, delicate stories. But at that moment felt, and I think that's what brought us together organically. We felt like, okay, we can trust each other now, and because we've created that kind of a safe space for us to be able to dig deep and kind of problematize the issues we are dealing with, in my opinion. So that's what I can say.
There's a lot of authenticity, I think, because we didn't just go through motions, right?
No.
It was-
I would like to add that for me personally, it was a very, to your question, therapeutic spiritual practice, because as a professor, it's nice to have the opportunity to do something for yourself and not create work for other people. So for me, it was really lovely, and to work with a whole different group of people that were not at all related to anything other than they were new people to meet and work with and become friends and family with. So for me, it really was very, very healing and very rich spiritually and physically and mentally and all of it. So I'm really grateful for the experience.
Good. Last question?
When are you gonna perform it again?
When would you like to see it?
We can do it right now. Well, I think we need some time to take a rest, right? 1 week, 2 weeks, and then we can come together again. And hopefully, we'll be able to do it again, if not several times, at least one more time.
On behalf of all of us, we wish you all that you will do it again and ongoing experience is very
Thank
important.
We're talking about all of these things, but what is also very important, without the support of the dance department, without the support of our amazing Chelsea, Chair of the dance department, Harry Krishna, we wouldn't be
Thank you.